What's going on, everybody? My name is Hydros, and welcome back to some more My Hero Academia Ultra Impact. And today we're going to be going over the brand new blue UR TOGA banner and also her details for the brand new UR TOGA unit. And also if you should summon on this banner, because this is a character banner for TOGA, which is similar to the Todoroki banner we had a little while back, except this one is just a little bit different, and I'll explain why here in a minute. But before we go and do that, make sure you guys go down there, click that red subscribe button if you haven't already, click that bell, turn on all notifications, and miss on any future videos. Also drop a like down below in today's video, it would greatly help me out a lot. Also comment down below hashtag TOGA if you're excited for the girl TOGA to get her first UR character in the game. So this is her character banner, and this one, like I mentioned, is similar to the Todoroki banner we had a little while back. Now, the difference between this banner and the Todoroki banner is that the Todoroki banner had the older UR Todoroki, the green one, and the newer UR Todoroki featured on the banner. So an old plus a new UR featured. This banner, since we've never had a UR TOGA in the game so far, the only UR character rate up unit on this banner is the new Himiko TOGA UR. So a little bit more value to this banner than I would say the Todoroki banner, because you're not having a higher chance of still pulling in older UR since this is her first UR. But as time progresses, I imagine that these character banners will come back as we get more UR characters in the future. So if we happen to get another UR Himiko TOGA down the line, I imagine that this UR currently right now is going to be rated up along with the new one down the line as well. So keep that in mind. But when they do characters like this that don't already have a UR, these banners do become a little bit more valuable because, again, as I mentioned, you're not having another higher chance of getting an older UR along with the UR that's currently being released. So let's just take a peek at the new unit really quickly. We're going to go over her details and stuff like that here in a second, but we have the new Himiko TOGA. That's her awakened. This is her unawakened art. 25,859 HP, 6228 power, 413 speed, and 15 critical rate. And as well as she's also blue along with the current SR blue TOGA. She was already in the game. This is not a new character, and she was already there. The memories as well, the memories are not new. This memory was actually featured on the Endeavor banner, and then this memory here, these are not new at all, but these are also rated up on the banner. I like this memories art, by the way. It looks really good. So these memories are probably going to work very well with the new blue TOGA. But yes, this new blue TOGA is the only new rate up UR, again, giving this banner a little bit more valuable gem spending, right? So you're gonna probably want to spend a little bit of gems on this banner because, again, she's the only rate up UR character, and you're just gonna have a better chance of pulling her. But again, we have the general pool as well. So let's just take a peek at the rates again. The rates really don't change from banner to banner to banner too much. 2% for a UR, 0.7% for TOGA, and then also 3% for her SR. And then also the memories as well are the same. So 0.7% for the rate up memory, and then also 3% for the SR one. So, rates pretty much the same, but again, a little bit more value to this banner because the only rate up character is the new UR. So let's go ahead on over to the wiki. Wiki will be down in the description down below if you want to check it out. I'm building it for you guys. Hopefully you guys do enjoy it, as well as thanks to the Dokkan the MHA Ultra Impact Discord for the translations as well. So let's take a peek at the TOGA translations here. So she is a blue character. Her art's pretty freaking fire, if I do say so myself. I love her art. But again, so her plus ultra attack is Knife Dance, which is inflict 600% damage to a single enemy and a high chance to make enemy bleed for 3 turns. Her first action skill is inflict 350% damage to a single enemy, medium chance to make enemy bleed for 3 turns, and then also if enemy is bleeding, fill plus ultra gauge by 20%. So I think that this activates if the enemy is already bleeding, but I'm not sure if this activates if you're getting the bleed from this ability. Like, let's say you actually use this skill here and the enemy's not bleeding, you inflict bleed, then you still get this after you inflict bleed. I'm not actually sure. That's going to require a little bit of testing with her, but I would imagine that it's either one or the other. It's either the enemy has to have bleed before you use this skill, or you use this skill, you get bleed, and then you also get this after the fact. So that's a cooldown of 4 turns. Bleed only lasts for 3. Then also her second action skill, fills plus ultra gauge by 50%, increased critical rate by 20% on a cooldown of 6 turns. So the way that you're going to want to use this character, but before we go ahead and get into that, let's actually take a look at the auto skills. I'm getting ahead of myself. Fill plus Ultra Gauge by 30% at the start of the battle, and then at the start of each wave, skills deal an additional 50% damage. Then her second auto skill, which is unlocked on the page 1 node 1 of the limit break board, when HP is 50% or less, gain high field for 3 turns. Skills deal an additional 50% damage. So if you want to know what high field is, let's go ahead and take a peek at what high field is really quickly by taking a look at the buffs and debuffs page. And then high field is right here. So fills plus Ultra Gauge up 50% faster. So if she is below 50% HP, her plus Ultra Gauge is going to fill up a little bit faster for 3 turns. And again, the way you're going to probably want to utilize this character is you're going to want to maybe do the first or the second action skill, which is getting that plus Ultra Gauge increased by 50%, and then also increasing your critical rate. And then after you get this, I would imagine you would want to then use the plus Ultra second. I don't know if you would want to use this one first. You could. I'm not actually no. I think the way you would want to do it is turn 1, use the first action skill, have that chance of bleed, and if you get the bleed, I would imagine you would get the plus Ultra fill if you happen to get the bleed, which is a medium chance. So probably like 50-50 or 60-40, something like that for a medium chance, right? And then use her second action skill, getting that plus Ultra Gauge a lot quicker and getting your critical rate up. Once you have that critical rate up and you have that plus Ultra going, inflict that 650% damage. You're going to also have a high chance to inflict bleed. So that bleed is going to last for 3 turns. 1 or 2 turns should have already passed by this, which means this bleed, if you did get it off, would only last for 1 more turn. Then once you get this off, then he's going to have 3 more turns. Then once this bleed is inflicted, if you actually do, again, it's only a high chance, not guaranteed. But if you do inflict this bleed as well from the plus Ultra attack, once you get your first action skill, you're then going to get this if enemy is bleeding thing, which means you're going to get that guaranteed plus Ultra Gauge fill by 20%. And then also at the start of the battle, you're getting that 50% plus Ultra Gauge, and your skills are dealing 60% or 50% more damage also. Then if you happen to fall below 50% HP, your skills are going to deal an additional 50% damage. So that's going to be a decent amount of damage output, especially with the bleed infliction as well. So again, she would most likely again work well with the current UR Shigaraki and the other UR All For One, because those are the only 2 villain URs in the game. And those 2 would probably be buffing her quite a bit as well, because they are, you know, League of Villains and villains and stuff like that. So having All For One and Shigaraki on the team with her is probably the ideal setup for her. You could probably utilize her with the blue SR Toga as well if you really wanted to. But I think that the best team that she has right now, we don't have many villain URs right now, but I imagine as the time progresses, we will get more and more and more. But I do think that the best team for her is going to be All For One, Shigaraki, plus her, and probably some bench units as well. So that's probably going to be her ideal setup. I don't think she doesn't really work with mono blue too much. She doesn't really do anything to buff other units either. Like, she doesn't really do much for anybody else. She's kind of like all about Toga, right? There's no buffing of any allies. There's no buffing of teammates or anything like that in her abilities. So, you know, she's not really a team player, so to speak. But I guess you could run her on mono blue. You could probably run her mono blue with Momo as well, getting the speed decrease on Momo. Also with the blue buffing Momo has. Also, again, you could probably run Toga Momo. That would probably be a decent blue team setup to run with her. Again, it's just the fact that we don't have many UR villains right now that's kind of hindering a lot of teams. As time progresses, the game is still very, very new, so keep that in mind. It's, I mean, stuff is going to progress, you know, at a pace to where, you know, we don't need units releasing every single week, but we are going to get, you know, units here and there, and eventually we will build up that roster of UR units also, so just keep that in mind. So Toga, I think she's a decent unit. She's a pretty decent unit just overall. Also, keep in mind, I believe that these stats like the 600, 350 and stuff like that, these percentages and stuff are at maximum capability. So just keep that in mind when you do summon her. If you see that these percentages are lower, just remember that the wiki, these translations are built off of her maximum, max potential and stuff like that. So again, that is that. But her banner, is she worth summoning on? is she worth summoning on? Like if you're summoning on this versus the Bakugo banner, I would say Bakugo has a bit more value to him because he's a little bit more powerful and you could work with him a little bit better because he has a lot more characters he can work with. So Bakugo is a little bit better, but Himiko Toga, is her banner worth summoning on? I would say because of the rate up, because she is the only rate up UR character, I would say her value is again higher than the Todoroki character banner. I would say that this banner is worth maybe 2, maybe 3 multi-summons. I would, at the very least, or at the very most, the maximum I would recommend going on this banner is the maximum to get these shards. So 5 multis. If you are like a semi-whale, dolphin, whatever it is, or even if you're free to play, I would say maybe 2, maybe 3 multis at best. Use that. Don't summon past that. Don't go hard on this banner unless Toga is your absolute favorite. Again, these are my recommendations. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. You can summon to your heart's content if you want Toga and you're just a Toga fan. By all means, go for it. I'm not telling you you cannot summon whatsoever, but this is just my opinion on the value of this banner specifically. If you're free to play, if you're a little dolphin, if you're a whale, whatever, I would not, I mean, if you're a whale, it doesn't really matter, right? If you're a whale, you're going to summon all you want. But if you're like, you know, a light spender to a free to play player, the maximum I would recommend going, even just to get a pity, is to max pity, get these shards. That way you're getting that free 50 shards and you're good to go if you ever pull it in the future. So again, that's the maximum I can recommend for even just light spenders. I would not recommend going, you know, 15, 30 multis deep. I mean, again, the pity is 30 multis, but in 30 multis, you probably should pull that Toga at some point or another. I would imagine you'll pull this Toga within 30 multis, right? So, you know, I don't think you would go to straight pity unless you're super unlucky, but I would never recommend going to pity on this character banner. Even though Toga is the only rate up you are, I still cannot recommend summoning for her super hardcore. Again, if you're a light spender or free to play, if you're a whale, do what you want. Again, you don't have to listen to me either way. If you're free to play and you don't care and you want to just summon for her, go for it. I'm not telling you you can't do that, right? Again, this is just my opinion on the banner. If I was summoning, I mean, I'm a spender, I do spend on the game. If I was to summon on this banner, I probably, you know, I probably would only go to the 5. That's my honest opinion. I probably would only go to the 5 just to get her shards. If I get her, I get her. If I don't, I don't. Just remember that this character is going to be added to the general pool, meaning she will be on other banners. She will keep coming back and coming back and coming back and coming back in other banners. So while you're summoning for other characters later down the line, you will most likely get her at some point or another because of other banners in the future. So again, is her banner worth it? I would say yes, to a certain point. I would say it's worth going to at least the 50 pity, the 5 multi pity, and that's it. That's pretty much my opinion. I mean, she is a good character. She's a very decent character. She's not like top tier breaking game type of character, right? But she is a very good unit. She's a very good blue unit. She's a very good villain unit, especially, and definitely would be working well, again, like I said, with Shigaraki and All For One. But again, I would not recommend spending all your gems on this banner. It's not worth it, in my opinion, to spend that much. Again, I would recommend only going to the 5 pity or the 50 points here and get her shards. If you happen to get her, you get her. If you don't, you don't. But if you just want to summon and you're summoning anyway, go for it. If you want to go for Toga, I mean, again, I love the art though. I love her art. Her plus ultra tag looks pretty sick as well. But again, my opinion, this banner is better than the character banner for Todoroki, so this one has a little bit more value to it because there only is one UR rate up character. So again, I would recommend, if I was recommending this versus the Todoroki banner, I would say only do maybe 1, 2, 3 multis tops. But this banner, I would say at least do maybe 5. If you want, maybe, I would say this one, I would say drop maybe a couple more multis into versus the Todoroki banner because of the fact that Toga is the only UR rate up character, right? So that would be a little bit more value for your buck there. Again, is she worth summoning on versus this Bakugo banner? I would say the Bakugo banner is a little bit more worth it than the Toga banner right now. So if you are going to be spending your gems hardcore, this is the banner I would recommend spending on versus Toga. But if you're a Toga fan and you just want Toga, and if you want to toss a couple multis here and there, I would say go for it. She's still pretty good, and he's probably, you know, you have a better chance of getting only her versus, you know, if there were like 2 or 3 UR Togas in the game. So that's my opinion on Toga. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments down below, and what you think of her unit, what you think of her banner. And also, if you guys did summon, how many multis did it take you to get her? Let me know down in the comments down below. If you guys did make it this far in the video, hashtag summons. I don't know, hashtag summons down in the comments down below. That's all I got. So let me know what you guys think. Comment down below, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a fantastic day.